All right, so 1.4 number 9, talking about surface area. This is a cake that appears to be made of 3 cylinders. All right, so it's kind of like a wedding cake. I went to a wedding over the holiday here, and the cake was about, it looks just like this, 3 cylinders just on top. One big one on the bottom, a middle-sized one, and a little one on top. Kind of like a snowman, but snowmen are spheres, right? Big sphere, middle-sized sphere, little sphere, okay? So each layer of a 3-layer cake is a cylinder with height of 7.5 centimeters. So each layer has the same height, so we'll remember that. The bottom layer has a diameter of 25. So if you're going to draw this, I would suggest drawing it like this, where you have a curved line for the front side of the bottom layer like that, and then draw your height, and then a mirror curved line like this. Okay? So this is 7.5 height, and the diameter is going to be 25. So you could draw the diameter kind of like this. This is sort of how it's drawn in blueprint diagrams and stuff like that, with little kind of like angled lines like that. So it kind of gives a 3D appearance, like it's kind of a line that's drawn on paper that you kind of see. So anyway, so that's 25, which we know the radius is going to be half of that, which the radius is going to be really important. Now, before you draw the backside, I would say let's draw the middle layer, which is a little bit smaller. So let's just set the middle layer on top of the big layer, but it's going to be a little bit smaller. Okay. And then you can fill out the back side of the bottom layer if you want, like this. Now, your pictures doesn't have to be perfect. Mine's not going to be perfect. But, and if you just want to draw it two-dimensionally, like from a side view and not like a 3D view like I'm doing, that's totally fine too. I think you should be able to get everything you need from there. And of course, the third layer is going to be 20 centimeters. So let's set the third layer on top of there. Okay. It's just a little bit of a smaller sphere, cylinder, sorry. And here we go. Here's the back side of that. And here's the back side of this top layer. Okay? So, not perfectly drawn, but you get the idea. There's the cake. And you can kind of see all the sides that need to be done as well. So there is going to be a wraparound surface in the bottom, right? And we can start from actually, I usually start from the top. So let's start from the top. This is a good sketch of the cake where if we have our numbers here, so this is going to be 22.5, and this top one is going to be 20. Okay. Okay, so you've got that. So the radii, and the radii is the fancy kind of Latin way of saying multiple or plural radiuses. So if you have one radius, it's radius. If you have more than one radius, it's radii. R-A-D-I-I. Radii. Weird, eh? Radiuses, you won't see that very often. It'll be radii. Okay? That's the convention in math. So the radii are 20, 22 and a half, or the diameter are 20, 22 and a half, and 25. So the radius for each is going to be half of that. Okay. And 7.5 is our height for each one. Okay, the area to be frosted. So let me help you get started on this again. I probably won't do the whole thing for you because I do want you to do this on your own. But I want you to see that we have a top layer, which is going to be the circle. Okay? It's going to be the circle. Now there's going to be obviously a few circles, and some of them are going to be covered up. So what's the area 1? Well, you have to do pi r squared, right? Pi r squared. And the r is going to be 10 there. So pi times 10 squared. All right, which is 100 pi. Let's use our calculator for this. Yeah, that's right. I just moved that decimal place over twice for some of you who have already figured that out. Good job. So 100 pi is 314.159. 314.159. Excellent. You didn't even need a calculator for that one, probably. Many of you have that number memorized up to those decimal places. So that's awesome. That's area 1. Pi r squared, pi r squared. Excellent. Now, the wraparound part for this is going to be, so let's make that area 2, is going to be 2 pi r h. Okay, which is going to be 2 times pi times, the radius was 10, and h is 7.5. So that's 150 pi, looks like. 150 pi.
You said 50 pi.
Oh, the 1 didn't register. 150 pi. Should be 471. 471.2388. 388. Okay. So that's the top. That's the top. The icing for the very top. That's the top circle and the wraparound part all the way around. Now, when you move down, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to take into account the fact that you're covering up part of the cake now, right? So this next one, I'll do it in blue, area 3 here. So area 3 is going to be pi r squared, but that's going to be pi times, what's the radius there? It's 1/2 of 22.5, right? Which is 11.25, good, squared. Okay. Now that's going to be the whole surface, and then we have to make sure that we remember that the top layer has actually covered up part of that. So let's do one thing at a time. Well, actually, let's write it all out here. So we're going to have the area of this one right here, the area of this middle part of the cake, minus the area of the top cylinder, the circle of this top cylinder. So minus 314.159. That's what area 3 is going to be if you just consider the exposed part that we're icing, just this part around here. Okay. So we'll do this, and then I'll probably release you to do the rest. But on my calculator, I'm going to do pi times half of 22.5 is 11.25. We'll square that. And I'll just hit equals because this is one kind of complete thing itself, and then I'll minus, take the answer, minus 314.159. And you see that we have 83.4488 square centimeters remaining. 83. Okay, so that's just the exposed part. And you would kind of keep going on like that. So now we'll do the wraparound part for area 4, and then we'll do this one for area 5, and this one for area 6. And do we ice the bottom of the cake? No, you don't ice the bottom of the cake. It's sitting on a tray. Okay? So this is what you have so far. These ones you're going to add up so far, and then you're going to keep working down the cake, okay?
You have to subtract anything like the top of 22, like just separate circle from the bottom.
The middle one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the top of the middle section, the full area of that middle section was this, and then I subtracted the area that the top piece is covering. That's what this is right here.
So do you have to do that again for the middle and
Yep.
the bottom?
Yep, that's right. So when you do this one, right, if you find the full circle, then you subtract the top part, the full top part. That's this, the full top part from this bottom top. Yeah, yeah. So just kind of think through it rationally. Show all your steps. You should get through it okay. Okay. So keep going on that. I will show you what the answer is here in a moment. I'll give you a chance to work on that though on your own. Okay, when you finish number 9, this should be the answer. You get to 1 decimal place. I'm okay. I'm good if you go to 2 decimal places. I like that too. But the answer key gives it in 1 decimal place, so you should have something like this: 2,081.3 centimeters squared. So that should be the answer once you finish question number 9 there. Okay, any other questions about this?